Harsh is on gas, like, a couple of good questions. Like, nodding his head, hell yeah.
He's like, fuck yeah, you have your Spotify open.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of An Interesting Discussion Sometimes. Back here with the boys, Tarun, Haran, and Christian. And today we got a special guest, our friend from Tech, Anuj. Anuj, you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for having me on. My name's Anuj. I also went to school with the boys at Tech. Graduated same year, 2020, class of 2020. And I was actually in the same major as Haran. And I could thank him for helping me through some of the harder times. But yeah, they're good friends, and I appreciate you guys for having me on.
I know, absolutely. Thanks for coming through.
Before I really knew Anuj, I knew of you, right, through mutual friends and stuff. And for whatever reason, I think there was a solid maybe year where I thought you were a year older than us. I didn't realize you were our age. And then I don't know who told me. It must have been like Nehar or something.
Okay.
But yeah, she's like, I think she told me that you were our age, and I was like, oh shit, I had no idea. And then I think I met you soon after that. So
yeah, usually when people meet me, they think I'm a couple years younger. This is not usually the reaction I get, so that's definitely a nice change. But yeah. I hung out with a couple of upperclassmen as I was growing into tech. And then they kind of introduced me to the people that ended up being in my class. So it's kind of backwards. But it led to a lot of people thinking I wasn't the same age or I was older than I was.
Yeah.
Which was a nice change of pace. Yeah.
That definitely happened at war a lot. I felt like people would always get misprofiled at what age they were. So there were definitely some kids who I thought were 15 there, bro. Some of those kids,
especially senior year, some of those freshmen, I thought they were not freshmen. I thought
they were easily war had a range of people though, because if you went early in the day, you could
go from 13-year-old to 75. Bro.
Yeah, legit.
Wait, should you guys explain what war is to the people that don't know?
Oh yeah, war memorial. Actually, is it still gonna exist after?
It's the war on drugs.
It's being renovated, right?
Okay. Yeah. War Memorial is where it's one of the basketball courts at Tech, indoor basketball courts at Tech that we used to play at a lot. So there's two. So there's another one called McComas. But that's where all the tryhards went to go, and would dunk and shit. We didn't want to fuck with that. We were trying to actually play basketball, so we'd always end up at War Memorial. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was convinced that Christian basically lived at war for the longest time. I pretty
much did freshman year.
It was insane. Yeah, I definitely met you first, Christian, and then I think I met Harsha, because you guys would ball at war, and then I think eventually I also saw her on there. So I met you three playing basketball.
Yeah.
And I just remember you guys would always shoot it from so deep. And I was like, these boys
take me out of the conversation. Take me out of the conversation when you talk about that.
That's true. Haran was always in the paint. But yeah, that's I think how I met you three. And then I met Tarun a little bit later on in college.
Yeah. It's easy, freshman year, especially to meet friends just through doing stuff, I think. I don't know. It's easy to get a group of people that you don't have to be that intimate with them, and then just go do something together,
Well, yeah, to be fair, Christian, if you didn't ball at War Memorial freshman year, we all probably wouldn't be here right now.
That's very true.
What are you talking about, bro? Fucking, I'll go to Temple. What are you talking about?
What?
What?
We'll meet you at the Temple.
I go to Temple. From the perspective of war, I definitely did the same thing freshman year, where I had a couple of friends that coming into college, but obviously you can meet so many people. So I didn't want to join clubs and stuff really freshman year. I was still nervous to do that. Yeah. But I'd played basketball for so long. So a big way that I got to meet people was I would literally just show up at the court, and then over time I got to know people, and then I would run games with them. So that was pretty big for me too. Definitely getting to meet people through just pickup games and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Were you pretty shy freshman year?
I wouldn't say I was shy. I would say that I wasn't that outgoing to try and do new stuff. I wanted to meet people, but I also was unsure of where I wanted to invest my time. So because of that, I was kind of hesitant to commit to anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like basketball was always just like a pastime.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like a commitment. It was just like what I'd always done.
Mhm.
But yeah, so yeah, I just kind of ended up going through that, and then that kind of expanded me to do other things later on in college.
Yeah, I feel like it's so much harder for freshmen now that are in dorms, trying to make friends if you didn't come into college with a good like high school base, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, imagine like your first probably what, I don't know, year and a half is gonna be like online learning only, and you're gonna have such limited experience like in person with other people.
Tell me more.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
Okay,
imagine trying to go to school in a different state, man.
hey, excuse me. But I mean, Haran's a grad student, so like I understand like the struggle is still there, but he's already,
I've been through the
older.
college experience and like I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's not. I don't think it's as bad for you. I mean, it definitely sucks, but
Yeah.
it's. I think it'd be worse for
I had my
freshmen out
time
of high
to have
school.
fun, I had my freshman
Oh,
year.
shut the fuck up, bro! You played FIFA like 4 hours today.
No, but like, there's a possibility that Haram can just graduate online, though, because it's
Yeah.
No,
program
I'm
is 2
very aware of
years.
that.
Yeah, so I still think it's a little bit worse, just because it's shorter.
Yeah.
I
As
agree, yeah.
as we're talking, Haran's wearing his another Stanford hoodie.
What do you say another?
Oh,
There's
sorry.
like what 12?
Well, yesterday you were wearing one too. That's why.
Yeah, but how would the viewers know that or the audience?
Oh,
I keep saying
Yeah,
viewers. I gotta stop referring to the podcast audience as viewers. I don't know why I keep saying that.
Let's take them behind the scenes. Just tell them
Pause,
what you wear every
pause.
day.
Didn't we come up with a name for our followers listeners?
yeah, I forgot.
What was it?
The sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why we forgot.
That's why we didn't repeat it.
The sometimes. Oh.
Yeah, Nuge, the reason I asked you if you were shy or like how that worked freshman year is because you're probably one of the friendliest people I've ever met in my life. So like to me, it seems like
That's
you
high
should be.
praise. I don't know if I deserve
No,
that.
No,
I mean,
100%. I back that.
No,
I
it's
back
true.
that.
Yeah, I think we all back that, bro. I
Oh.
think you should like. I'm surprised you don't have millions of friends, honestly.
Oh my goodness.
Can you make millions
Oh.
of friends and then tell all your millions of friends to listen to this podcast?
So, I mean, I can try
We'll
my
give
best.
you a cut.
I have a new
Okay.
purpose now. I have a new purpose. I'll go for it.
Companies should hire friendly guys to promote their companies. That should be a job position, bro.
Yo, that's actually awesome.
Oh. But I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know about how true that statement is, but I do appreciate that that's the sentiment.
No, but like, so like what I was thinking is, like when I think of you, okay, it sounds weird when I'm saying it like that, but when I think of like when someone brings up a news, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's like a guy like I love to have a conversation with because like you bring that energy, So then
Yeah,
this
no,
goes
remember
back-
his nickname?
Smiley. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
Yeah.
such a positive nickname, I feel like in college you could get a lot of negative nicknames. And to
That's
come out
true.
of college with
That's
a positive
true.
nickname is a really great accomplishment.
Wait, Anuj, where did Smiley come from?
It was actually the same upperclassmen that like I worked my way into like meeting other people through. One of them, I guess I can give her a shout out, is Mita, if any of you guys know her. I don't think like she could remember my name or something. So she was like, I'm just gonna start calling you Smiley. And then her entire like group, they started calling me the same name. And
Okay.
then eventually that extended into where Christians started calling me Smiley on the basketball
Yeah.
court.
Because
And
I
then
didn't know your name yet.
basketball people
So
would start calling me Smiley. So it spread pretty fast. And it caught on very quickly. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then it stuck until, I'd say it stuck through all of college.
Yeah.
I don't hear it as much anymore, but also I think that's because I'm home 97% of the time of my day.
So yeah, while we're still talking about like making friends and like all of that stuff. I don't know how to do this properly.
You should have said.
Tell me
instead of-
more.
Instead of stuff, you should have said like hullabaloo. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
I don't think I should have said that.
I like the vocabulary.
Anyways, but yeah, so along the lines of that, this past week I was thinking about how, like in the last, I think like I would consider the last 4 years, I never really like hang out with like friends one on one. Like I always prefer or I don't know if I prefer, but like I guess like subconsciously I'm always like preferring like group hangouts instead of like one-on-one hangouts, because I think for me I can't, like I don't feel comfortable in myself holding a conversation one-on-one. Like I don't think like I'll be interesting enough to the other person. So
Facts.
yeah, like I've just I've been thinking about the last 4 years, and I think like I've had like less than 5 one-on-one hangouts with like people. So yeah, I just wanted to like see what you guys think about that, like for yourself. Like, do you guys prefer one-on-one or group hangouts, and like why?
I think it's tough to say because all of us kind of met in a group, and college kind of promotes group interaction. And so I think it's hard for us, like this specific group, to answer. But I know personally, I probably prefer a one-on-one hangout more. I mean, it depends on like the person and the what you're gonna do. Like if you're just gonna chill with somebody, I mean, I'm not even really for that anyway. Just like one-on-one, just chilling, like that. There's just no purpose. Like we can go do something and we share a common interest. Like I'm down to just be 2 people, you know. So it depends, but I think it's tough because we were all around each other in a college environment. Like we lived together, the 4 of us, and that it made living a group activity, if you know what I mean. So
I mean, yeah, I wasn't pretending. I was asking the question like about like us, like in the group only hang out. I meant like also with like your other friends and stuff.
no, I don't have other friends, but
Oh,
Yeah,
Well-
I mean, so for me, it depends on the gender, basically. Like, I never hang out one on one with my boys, but if it's like girls, basically, that's like more of a reason. Not more of a reason. It's more,
Hey, yo.
more.
Hey,
It
yo.
happens
you're
more
on,
for
you're on
me.
thin
innit?
ice, buddy. I get
No,
that.
but
I
you
feel
know what I'm
like
saying,
I feel
right?
like
Like-
one-on-one with the boys is not the same as like a group hangout with the boys.
yeah,
Then,
because
like,
if you're one-on-one with the boys, the sexual tension is out of the world.
Like, no, but okay, so one on one with the boys, it's usually like I'm playing like a video game, or like me and Christian, there was like one time where like went out to take photos and stuff like that, and like I don't know, shit like that. I think it revolves around an activity that we both want to do. Whereas if it's like a girl that I'm hanging out with, it's usually to like catch up or just like get food and like chill and hang out. Like nothing really planned. It's
so why
more
can't you
like
take me out,
talking. Well, I didn't know you wanted to.
Yeah,
Because
take
you
the
don't like
initiative.
hanging out with your fellow boys, man.
No, but I feel like with you guys, I'll be okay holding conversation, you know. But I'm saying like outside of the people that I talk to, like say like someone that I knew from like high school is like back in town or like wants to hang out, and like I
Mhm.
haven't talked to them in like a couple like months or maybe years, and but like I was good friends with them back in high school. Like I feel like personally, I would probably say yes to the invitation, but I'd be very scared going into it because I'm like I don't know if I can hold a conversation with this person, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
but that
you-
should go with anyone. For yeah,
I don't
No,
know.
but
Like, some,
Haran,
some
like-
some people are okay in that situation. Like they're able to like talk as much as they like want to. You know. I don't know.
I think that even if it was like people from high school you never spoke to, but it was a group of people you never spoke to, it would be the same feeling.
No,
Yeah.
see, I disagree because if it's a group of people,
But if it's a group of people you don't know, like I don't feel like talking anyways.
no. But if it's a group of people,
Just
I
feel
don't
out of
know.
place.
Yeah.
Like, but I know, but like they know each other, and I know, like, I feel like I could still like get into the conversation with that. You know. I mean,
Yeah, but
at least
that's-
how I
that's-
would-
You're a wild one.
that's deviating from the original question, right? We're operating on the assumption that like we know these people and we've hung out with them before or talked to them
Mhm.
before, even if it's like a few years ago, we know them, right?
yeah.
Because I think if it's someone you don't know, that's like I think that's scary for anyone. I feel like, well, at least I get really nervous. Like if it's for a group of people, generally I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty shy unless I have like someone there, like one friend with me. You know, like I think it's like if you have one friend with you, then it's like much easier to make way more friends. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
This is
let's
just
let
psychology.
the friendliest
honestly.
guy have a say. You know, when you get your turn to speak.
I guess in terms of like one-on-one stuff, I'm a pretty big fan of one-on-one stuff. I feel like it helps me get to like know people better. And just like one-on-one conversations can lead to discussions that you wouldn't expect, I guess.
Yeah.
And you find out a lot about people just like a 30-minute one-on-one conversation. You could find out more about someone than you do in like 2 years, which is pretty crazy sometimes. Just because I guess in the like necessity to just you were just talking to the other person, it kind of makes you think of like talking about certain stuff that maybe doesn't come up as naturally usually. So sometimes I feel like it might be kind of awkward, but like I feel like it's very doable to work through that awkwardness, and then it gets to some of like my favorite discussions that I've ever had. Just like talking to someone one on one can lead to like so much. Yeah,
I really like that answer.
Yeah, that was very good.
thanks, guys.
Basically, just my whole like conclusion from like what I had to say was that I'm trying to work on that. Like, I want to be able, like, I want to put myself out there and see if I could, if it goes well, then maybe like that's something I can like continue in the future. But based on what you said, it sounds like I'm missing out on a lot. Yeah, put me in a breakout room with a nooch for 30 minutes, and I'm gonna change my life.
Actually, I have a really good example of like what Anuj was talking about. In my personal life is like when I do photo shoots for people, like especially during grad pick season. Like I would link up with someone for like an hour and a half, and because they're graduating, we kind of have like conversations about like what they enjoy, what they're gonna do in the future, like what their major was, like, and then like if we're traveling from like one location to the other, like from the pylons to like the stadium and stuff like that, usually they'd play music or something like that, and I get to know them through that. It's like, yeah, it's really interesting how much you can find out about a person, like Anuj was saying, in like such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like drives, especially, even if it's not like a one-on-one drive. I feel like those also work the same way if it's like a smaller group. I feel like you find out a lot about people through that because it's like similar where you're kind of just like forced to be with those other people.
Right.
No, I actually really agree with that because I would drive a lot of people like back and forth from Nova or like to UVA and stuff, and I myself like struggle. Like I need to be like engaged with like in a conversation or like a podcast when I'm driving for me to be focused. So like that's why I would like try to like initiate conversation with people, and some of them would be like reciprocative, and like they would like like actually have like talk to me about stuff. But some of them would just fall asleep immediately, and I don't get the chance. But yeah.
Hey, Ron, never forget that drive from Nova to Tech, Thanksgiving break. What was
the 6-hour drive?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was the worst drive.
It's just you and me.
If you try to get to know Tarun in a car, bro, you won't. He just fall asleep immediately.
Is that true? Do you just nap?
Why'd you have to call me out?
You're the only person out of the four of us. I don't know about Anuj, but out of the four of us, you're the only one that like sleeps in a car, like significantly.
I fell asleep in the car once with you, I think.
Yeah, just once though. Like Tarun.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Harsha, are you calling me out because those drives where you drove me to Tech, I didn't talk to you? Are you like, because I didn't sleep during those really generally.
No.
I feel like that's
I'm not
worse.
No, like if it was just like the four of us going somewhere. I'm not saying like one-on-one that you would sleep, but
okay, so Tarun's reliable one-on-one, but not in a group.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Sleepy.
That's
all right.
All right, yeah. I don't want to pile on anymore, but moving on.
Wait, I'm not moved on yet. Wait, Harsha, you put on sports podcasts in the car. What am I supposed to talk to you about then?
Hey, yo, we gotta diffuse this conversation.
I said you don't sleep one-on-one. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like if us four went somewhere, such as a long drive to fucking Conley, or our drive from Roanoke to Blacksburg.
A 45-minute
drive. Or UVA. You've also slept. So like
it's actually so true. There was like this one time we're coming back from UVA with people I will not mention, but you guys know who, I think. And I think it was Christian in the front seat, I think. Something like that.
No, it was just us four. It was just us four.
Oh, okay.
This is when we went for Carker's birthday or Millen or something like that.
Maybe, whatever.
Or maybe the week before.
But in that car ride, well, first of all, I was like half sick because I slept in my UVA friend's apartment's floor with no what do you call it, comforter, because he didn't have any. He
actually they treat us like fucking peasants.
Yeah, he gave me his lab coat actually to fucking sleep with that.
Oh my god!
And then I used my fucking backpack with I think I had my laptop and like my shirts and shorts that I didn't wear for that weekend.
No,
like
not the backpack pillow. Not the backpack pillow.
But
was a
anyway,
classic
yeah.
in
So like,
Charlottesville.
I was like cold all night, and then we had just gone out or whatever, right? So I was also like half sick and like hungover or whatever. And as soon as we get in the car, Haran's driving, and I just like basically pass out. And then there was like an hour left in the car drive, or like it was like half of it or something. And I heard what these two people were talking about with Haran, and it was so dead that I just acted like I was asleep the rest of the time.
Oh no.
It wasn't much of a conversation, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. I felt bad for Haran, but I felt more bad for myself. So I just
You were like, yeah, I'm still asleep.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
what
still
you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure at one point I like turned up the music because like I didn't care about what the fuck was going on. I was like, music that's gonna keep me more engaged in the conversation.
Speaking of music, Anuj, you knew
What's
this was
up?
coming, probably. You have, I don't want to call it like a feature, but you do this thing probably like every couple of days. You used to do it every day where you had an album of the day, right?
Yeah.
Explain like how that got started and like why and all that.
Yeah. So it started in high school I listened to like some music, but I wasn't like quite as into it. And then coming into freshman year of college, I got like introduced to a lot of artists. But I was surprised at like how much I didn't know. So I kind of really started to like a couple of artists especially. So big ones were like Kendrick Lamar, Kanye, and then you guys can't see it, I guess, but I have a Frank Ocean poster in the back.
I know we can see it.
There it is. Yeah. So Frank Ocean was like another one of those. And so that kind of like introduced me into more music, and moving through like that first freshman year, I decided to listen to an album every time I went to class. So in the morning I'd like pick an album, and it was kind of unofficial. And I just like kind of do so much because there was so much music I hadn't listened to. So I just pop my headphones in. I like go to class. I walk across the drill field or whatever. And then when I got to class, I'd like
You're a brave
pause it.
man, sir.
Oh man, walking across the drill field was not a good time. And then when I got to class, I'd like stop, and then I'd hit play again whenever I was moving between classes or whenever I just had time to myself.
No, let's be honest. You had that shit going during ME Lab lectures, bro. You need
Yeah,
to pay attention.
yeah, that did happen. Sometimes I didn't even show up to ME Lab lecture and just listen to music instead.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah, honestly. Again, thank you, Haran, for helping me through my major. But yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And then eventually I decided to like start asking people for recommendations as I worked through it. So like sophomore year, junior year, I got like album recommendations, which opened me up to even more music. And then I started like putting them up on Instagram because it like let me get feedback from other people. And personally, I love hearing what other people like to listen to and things like that. So that's kind of how it started. And now I just listen to one during the weekdays. So whenever I'm not doing anything too intensive at work, I just pop my headphones in and I listen to more music.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, like, how do you like? Do you ever get tired of going through like a whole album, or like do you kind of like skip through a couple songs in the album, or is it like a full like playthrough of the whole thing?
So what I try to do is I try and listen to the whole album without skipping first. There's some albums that I get like 30 minutes in and I'm like, I'm not a fan of this. But I at least try and finish it. So some albums I'll like get through them and I'm like, I did not like that album. And it's like, it might be a recommendation or it's just something that I've heard about. But after that first listen, I will maybe come back to it like in a month or two, but I won't touch it after I'm like, yeah, that was so bad. But other times, I like replay an album a couple times throughout the day if I really like it and if I have the time, I guess. But yeah, that's usually how I go through it. One time just not on shuffle, just regular play, and then go from there.
So yeah, you guys can check out his Instagram page. We'll link it in our post. But my question was, like, I know whenever you post your album, you always have like a slider bar, just like how you find it or like how the other person finds it. But why don't you should post your own Like
Well,
I don't
he's
know
still
how
listening
I don't
to
know how
it,
you
probably,
do it.
right?
Yeah, so
Because like I would like to
usually
see what you would have to say. Basically, is my point.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Cause honestly, like I do it, it's kind of selfish. I want to know what like other people think. So I'm
And
like,
justify
oh,
your own opinions.
and I don't know about justify, cause sometimes I'm like, man, these people really didn't like this album, but this album is so good. And other times it's the other way around. But yeah, I guess I could start putting up my opinions, but I'm also not sure how interested people are in specifically what I think. But it is nice to hear that you're curious.
No, you could be like
I might do that.
You know Anthony Fantano on YouTube.
Yeah.
That could be you.
No, don't be him.
Yeah,
Nah.
don't be him. Don't be him.
I don't want his audience, honestly. Some of his comments make me a little worried.
That's
He's definitely a great YouTuber though. Definitely recommend.
But yeah, Nuge,
So
you should put a rating on there, like out of 10. I think when
At
you
the end
post
of the
it.
day?
Yeah.
Well, not all of them, but maybe like a couple of them. They're like ones that like maybe have like polarizing reviews that other people
Yeah.
wouldn't be expecting.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely think I'd be down to do that. I know I've thought about putting up like the general consensus the next day, just so that people know kind of what other people thought of the album. But yeah, I'll definitely think about that too. Maybe start putting that up as well.
So what's one album that you hated but the majority of people kind of liked? Or was a popular one?
An album that I hated that a lot of people liked. Let me think. I actually have my Spotify up right now.
Harsh is a little gas. Like a
But-
couple of good questions. Nodding his head, hell yeah.
He's like, fuck yeah, you have your Spotify open.
I guess one album that for a long time I really didn't like Drake. And it was like a bias of mine, I guess. And now I'm like trying to work through it because Drake is genuinely a talented rapper, but I was super biased for some reason. So the first time I listened to Scorpion, I was like, I don't like this album at all. But going back through it, like I think it has highlights and things like that. But that was one that I think like 30 people voted on it, and they were all like all the way up to the sliders almost. And
What?
I was like, people love this
Because
thing.
they probably just saw Drake. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible.
What's that? Like, what's the name? A couple of the hit songs on the album. I already forgot. In My Feelings, right? That was on the album, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's like Blue Tints. That song has like Nonstop. That's also
Oh, wait,
yeah.
that's-
Nonstop's
Yeah.
not bad.
Nonstop's a good one. Yeah.
Wait, I like Blue Tint also.
Blue Tints is good. Yeah.
Yeah, but the album
one
was like
s-
25 songs long or something.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, it was like,
it's so
they get like
bad.
2 parts to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one sleeper on that album that I really liked. I forgot what it was, but yeah, overall not great.
not a huge fan.
Mob Ties.
Mob Ties.
Yeah.
Mob Ties is good.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
one. That's the one I'm
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
Yeah,
of.
It's a
Mob
good
Ties
one.
is fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like Drake's previous albums compared to that one for sure.
I agree. Like I'm a big fan of Nothing Was the Same.
Yeah, and Take
but
Care.
then-
I think Take Care might be my
yeah.
favorite, but
Yeah.
those two.
They've definitely since I've seen through my bias, I've come to appreciate them a lot more.
I think my favorite Drake album, and this is a take, I guess, is If You're Reading This It's Too Late. I think that's
No,
my
I do
favorite
like that album a
Drake
lot.
album.
I like
That's
that a lot.
that's good. That's good.
Honestly, I fucked with all the Drake Future collabs.
Okay, so since we've heard about something that you didn't like that everybody else liked, what's something that you liked that nobody else liked, really?
So it's always interesting because I feel like there's always at least somebody that likes the album and somebody that doesn't like the album.
Mm.
But I guess for like an album that I liked a lot that I don't think a lot of people liked. I think I talked to a lot of people about this actually, but Ed Sheeran's collaboration number 6, I didn't think it was amazing, but some people thought it was so bad, which I understand if you do. But I was like, there's some highlights on here, but I like stood guard against these people that were just trashing the album.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what you just said.
Oh, can you guys not hear me?
No,
I
I'm
mean,
just talking about like Ed Sheeran, whatever I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's the last album he put out with like the black and white cover.
I'm still on the Divide cover. That one
The
was that came
Divide
out like a
cover?
couple years ago.
I think that was like 2016.
Isn't there a song with
2017?
Travis Scott on that album?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
there is.
That was the only
Yeah.
one that I thought was.
That's probably the only
maybe-
song I listened to, honestly.
Yeah, that's the only one that I thought was maybe okay, and it was still pretty trash. So
I did not give Ed Sheeran the time of day, bro. I've not even touched that album.
I can't. How do you have freaking? How many?
Yo,
songs
how do you
is
go from Lego House and A-Team to getting a song with Travis, bro? Was it good?
It was okay in my opinion.
What kind of
but,
like beat was it? It's like
it's like a trap beat. It's very
damn.
interesting. It's very
insane progression.
Yeah.
Damn.
Bro, no, I actually don't understand how you can have 15 songs with like some of the biggest names in music, and have one okay song.
Hey,
Like,
let me introduce you to my friend DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
I mean, it's not like Ed Sheeran needs this, bro. He got such a big bag from Shape of You, bro.
It's insane. That man has made a living off of like 3 songs if he needed to. But I guess in terms of like your guys' music taste, I know you guys talked about your rap, I think, on a recent podcast episode that you guys did. But I know you guys had like some overlapping artists, but is there anyone that you guys all collectively are like a big fan of?
Probably Travis, I think, because we all saw him. I mean, it's tough because Haran specifically has a very broad taste in music.
That includes Nav.
The homie.
I said music.
Wait, Anuj, what do you think of Nav?
I mean, I think Nav's very alright. There's some songs that I really like.
That's very nice.
That's the nicest.
That's the most negative thing I've heard Nuj ever say.
Yeah, like Haran has a very broad taste in music. Harsha doesn't really listen to music as much anymore. I can't really pinhole. I think Tarun goes on and off with listening to music. I listen to older music probably more now than I did before. I mean, I'm not saying I listen to like music from the 80s and the 90s, but like early 2010s, like 2000s stuff a bit. And so I think Travis is probably, and I like Kanye a little less, but we all like older Kanye, I think. I'm not really sure what else to pinhole like collectively. Like we all like a lot of the same songs, but
Kendrick?
like artist
Like
wise,
Kendrick, right?
yeah, I'm definitely way more on the Kendrick scale than I think.
I'm a pretty big fan of Kendrick, but I don't know about Tarun and Harsha.
I mean,
I like Kendrick
too, but I don't go out of my way to like play his music, I guess you could say.
I like Kendrick. I didn't like Damn that much though.
I really like Damn.
I like.
I don't know that
might
be a bad take, honestly. I don't know.
I mean, I just like Good Kid, Mad City, and Tipo Butterfly like better, more. Yeah,
I think that's true that they're better. But I still think Damn.
That's why I say I didn't like it as much.
I feel like Damn was very like Point feels more playable. Yeah.
It's more mainstream.
Yeah.
I mean, but it still kind of had I don't know, like a general message to it, you know, like it was still conceptual, but it was definitely way more mainstream than To Pimp a Butterfly and maybe even Good Kid, Mad City. Because I mean, he had fucking U2 on the album, dude. I mean, like that's mainstream as hell.
Yeah, that album had a lot of like radio playability. It was also like playable at like you could play it in the car, you could play it at home, you could play it at a party.
Yeah, it was really versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Damn has a bunch of interludes, right? And interludes are just like intermissions. And we're about to take an intermission to generate some revenue. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're going to continue the discussion on our raps this year.
So, Anuj, since you listen to like albums like every day, what was your Spotify Wrapped like?
So for the 4th year in a row, Frank Ocean was my top artist, and for the 4th year in a row, Ivy was my top song.
Damn.
So consistency has been a theme for me. But yeah, it was pretty much that. And then after that, I had Kendrick was in my top 5, along with Brockhampton. I think it was ASAP Rocky and Quinn XCII.
Damn, really? ASAP?
I'm a big fan of ASAP. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of ASAP too, but like his recent music or
it was like a mixture of testing and like older albums, I guess.
Long Live ASAP.
Long Live ASAP. But I think it was just he's in like various plays that I have.
Yeah.
Because he's in. I think he's also kind of very playable. He's in like my gym playlist and my car playlist.
Yeah.
I think I even have like a sleeping playlist with one of his songs in there. I don't know how that
Oh,
works.
LSD?
Yeah,
I think
LSD
it's
puts you to
LSD.
sleep, bro. LSD would
Yeah.
you to sleep.
LSD is so good. But yeah, it's like a mixture of those. But yeah, that's pretty much what my rap looked like. It was definitely fun. But I had a ton of sad songs in my top 5. I had like Cherry
For this
Wine
year,
by
it
Hozier.
makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, that's definitely how it was for me. For you guys, I know I heard a little bit about what your guys' rap was, but I know that some of you, I'm not gonna name names, didn't have your guys' podcast as the number 1.
Shit, who was
That's okay, because at this point right now, we've hit our goal for listens by the end of the year, because somebody, we don't know who, 2 people have gone through the entire catalog of our playlist within the last week and listened to every single episode. So like, whoever you are, thank you. You made us some peas. That's great. But yeah, so that was pretty dope. But I mean, personally, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts outside of ours. So I mean, that's kind of easy for mine to be like up there, but I don't know. Do you guys listen to a lot of podcasts? I know, Haran, you listen to ESPN FC, but I just watch their YouTube videos instead.
Yeah, so like
I guess it's the same.
I only listen to the podcast when I'm driving. Like also, I would watch the YouTube videos like you do, or like I have the ESPN Plus. So I could watch like the full show, but I like go through phases with podcasts. Like I don't think I've ever committed to one like consistently. So like there'll be like a month where I listen to like 10 episodes of a podcast, and then like I'll move on to a different like topic or a different discussion. Yeah. But don't do that with our podcast, guys. Stay every week.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys like listen to like crime podcasts or anything? I feel like crime podcasts are just like on another level in terms of popularity.
Dude, Crime Junkie is the best. I mean, sorry, Crime Junkie is the second best podcast. But not over there, like the team at Crime Junkie. I don't know if they have a team. It seems like just 2 girls that are like a part of it. But they do really good research, and they just lay it out really well. Like I aspire to be able to talk or explain or tell stories that well.
So for those Crime Junkie podcasts, are they all solved, or are there some that are unsolved too?
Some are unsolved. It'll tell you in the title, I think they put it, or in the description they put like solved, or if it's a serial killer, or if it's just like a kidnapping or a disappearance or something.
Oh, just in case like some people don't want to listen to certain things, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so Wrapped, right? There's basically a reflection of this past year, just like your music taste and everything. But obviously, a lot else happened in 2020. And this podcast is the last one that's being released in the year 2020. Thank God. And so I don't know. Do we want to take a quick recap of? I mean, other than coronavirus, the fucking election, the social justice, I think we've all touched on those things pretty heavy on the podcast. And those are obviously huge things. But is there any like look backs or things you want to touch on from this really shitty year?
So when we used to play Among Us and stuff, while we were waiting for people to join, we would ask everyone to say a rose, bud, and thorn of their week. So basically, a rose is something good that happened that week, a bud is something you're looking forward to for the next week, and a thorn is something that didn't go well for that week. So I think we can do that for the year, for individually. And you can't repeat. So one person says I graduated college, the other person can't say that. That's a good thing.
Okay, I'll go first.
I wasn't even thinking that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
I'll go first.
Take it away.
What was? Okay, honestly, I absolutely despised this when we were playing Among Us. So what does each thing mean again?
Oh my god.
Oh, was it a rosebud and a thorn?
Yeah.
Okay. So a thorn. I think we should avoid the big 3 things, I guess, because that's pretty generic. a thorn, I guess, is that now my car is just donezo. No more car. So I'm currently in the
How many
process of
years have you
looking.
had it again?
Um, I started driving it like after I graduated high school, I guess, because the car I had at the time was traded in, and then whenever I'd come home, I'd drive that car. But I've been pretty much driving it full time for like 3 years.
Damn.
But I mean, I had
Well,
like 280,000 miles on it, so I mean, like this wasn't anything unexpected. A bud, uh, what was a bud again?
something you look
No,
forward to.
I know a rose is something good that happened. What's a bud?
Something
Something you're looking forward to for 2021.
Oh, I'll do the rose first then. That probably makes sense. Probably, I don't know. I felt like I got a lot more. I learned a lot more about myself, I think. Like I did a lot of like self exploration about like the kinds of relationships I want, not just like romantically, because that's obviously what people think of first, but like just like person to person. And I learned a lot about, what I expect from people, whether it be good or bad. So
This is the rose, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just
Christian's
think
not
it's
coming
good
back
to
to the podcast next year.
There's actually a resignation.
But yeah, no, I think I learned a lot about like how I interact with people, and what I look for in just a social interaction, I guess in general. And so, but I don't know, like obviously the fucking big thing is I just want this year to be over. But I think that's a pretty easy cop out. 2021, I'm just really excited to see like what the world. I mean, this is bearing on the fact that the vaccine is out and most people. I mean, I know that's a hard statement to say, but most people take it and we're able to live somewhat a normal life again. I want to see what it's like again to be living a somewhat normal, unrestricted life in America. I
I
feel
think
like we've
everyone's still
definitely
gonna
kind of
act cautiously, right? I think that would be like the
yeah, but
visual.
I mean, like, I want to be able to. I don't want to say travel, but I want to be able to just go somewhere,
And not have like the
even if it's
worry.
only it's I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Like Boston.
Like I just. Oh, I'm not going to Boston, uh, but just the freedom without like the huge weight on your shoulders of like, oh my god, is like the
This person
safety
walking
and-
past me gonna kill me.
Yeah, bro. Exactly.
That could still happen. I
Knowingly
guess.
or unknowingly,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That's fair.
So yeah, I guess that's the summation, if you will.
Nice.
It's a nice
Nice
2020
callback.
word.
I think my thorn would be just not getting like like one last like big trip. Like we wanted to go to Vegas with like the four of us. That would have been like a lot of fun. And like even like in the summer we were planning on like these like trips. But that never got to happen. So that kind of hurt, I guess, because I had all the time, and we all had the time, and the fact that we never really got to like plan it out or like make it happen, sucks. But that kind of goes into my rose. I think my rose would be the amount of time I've been socializing, because I feel like coming into the pandemic, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like just like close myself from everyone. Like I'm not gonna talk to anyone. Like I'll probably like message people and not like video call any time or anything. But I feel like as the pandemic went on, like I think we kind of got more creative with like ways to hang out like virtually and stuff. And like I guess I personally really appreciated that. Like it gave me something to look forward to, like on days where it looked like nothing was happening. And then Bud, I guess for me it would just hopefully get into California. So, and like finally like meeting my fellow classmates and my professors. But yeah, I guess that's hopefully something I can look forward to in the next year. You wanna go, Nuge?
Sure. I guess similar to your Thorn, I also had like plans to travel. I wanted to do like a trip to Singapore actually, between college and when I started. And I also had like originally planned to do a trip to Korea as well with some friends from high school. and there was like talks about that. Also maybe like going to Tokyo and things like that. So I think this is pretty common among a lot of people, but just like post grad travel plans just went right out the door as soon as things started happening.
I mean, I can tell you all about Singapore if you want. I'll give
I
you
would,
No,
I
no,
would
you
love to
can't.
hear that honestly.
shitty country, worst place ever. Fucking
Bro,
pricks.
Not a
you'll
huge
get
fan.
banned again.
They can't ban me twice.
But I guess in light of like everything that did happen, my rose I guess would be like the amount of time I got to spend just doing stuff that I haven't been able to over the last like 4 years of college just because of busyness and like not having that personal time. So like I think that I got a chance to like become a better cook and like I got to play like games or like watch shows or like spend family time or like get to hang out with friends that I wasn't sure if I would get to spend as much time with as I have. So even though a lot of it is like virtual, other than like family time, of course, it's nice to have that time that I didn't think I would have originally. And then apart from that, I guess the bud for next year would be I'm moving to a new city. Actually, I'm moving up into the Northern Virginia area. So I'm excited to do that. Yeah, it'll be nice. I've been like in Richmond for a while now, so
Where in Nova are you moving to?
I'll be in Arlington. I'll be in the
Oh, nice,
Roseland area.
nice. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
nice, very nice area. Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I'm moving in with my best friend from back home, so it'll definitely be like a nice experience. And I'm excited for like the change in pace, I guess, because with like the last 8 months ish, things have felt kind of stagnant. So it'll be nice to have that change of pace and go from there.
It's hype. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats, man. That's a big
Thanks,
move.
guys. Thanks.
We're very close. I'm like 15 minutes away from Roslyn.
Hey, then I'll hopefully
but-
get a chance to see you
Hopefully, we
soon.
can see each other.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
yeah.
thought you don't like hanging out with people one on one though.
Yeah, but I said a nude was an exception.
Cap. Sounds like
The
Uh,
one exception.
Sounds like
we were gonna
big
go into
cap.
that breakout room, remember?
I'm still waiting for the life changing experience of a one.
Turn, you want to go or should I go?
You can go. It's all good.
Okay.
Harsha, you thorny guy.
My rose is probably with the time that I've had, I feel like I've used it pretty well. Whether it be like studying for and getting a good score on a test I was studying for in the summer, or honestly, this podcast has been really great. It was Christian's idea to start it in like March or April, and we've kept up with it for so long, and I feel like it's been great for us to put ourselves out there. Honestly, like it would have been really cool if we did it like all of college because we were like living together and all that, but it's still pretty cool to keep in touch. Like at least us for like being like talking every week and stuff.
I didn't think about that before. Like if we did this throughout college, we would have had such a good like record of everything that was going on.
Yeah.
All the different funny stories and all that shit.
Bro, imagine
Dude, yeah,
the
we could've
beef
had-
we would have had on here, dude.
We could have had like weekly recaps of our nights out. It would have been so much
Yeah,
fun.
dude, yeah. It would-
Or we
think
could have just
about-
like recorded it right after.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah,
better.
man.
We
Think about,
got
how,
home.
think about
Could've
how
been better.
easy it would have been to record, bro. Like we could have just gone to Christian's room
Sat
where his
down.
mic was and just
Yeah.
post up, talk for a little bit. Oh, we could
I
have so
definitely
many new
wanna say-
guests too. Yeah.
Like I think this has been a really cool podcast as well because it feels like when I listen to your guys' podcast, it feels like I'm hanging out with you guys, which is like a really cool vibe. Which like getting to know you guys, I know we did get a chance to like hang out in college a good amount, but I wasn't always like spending that much time with you guys. Like some weeks I'd see you guys a lot, not as much other times. So it's cool to kind of like get that chance to hang out with you guys like through the podcast almost. And it's like I get to hear about your guys' stories, which like half of them I had no idea ever happened. And they're just so entertaining to hear about, like hearing about like Harsha's stories or like anything like that. It's like a really good time. And also congratulations on recently, I think you guys got past 35-ish episodes. I don't know
Yeah.
what you guys will be at after this, but congrats on that. That's pretty big because I know that it's not easy to like keep this up on like a weekly schedule. So props to you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially for Tarun and Harsha and Haran a little bit like
At points.
with yeah, I mean, you're not going to school right now, so but especially Tarun and Harsha, I mean, they work 5 days a week up and like pretty much right up until the podcast on the days we record or have meetings. So that's really
So cut them some slack, you know.
Yeah, but I
You
mean, like, I'm
fuckers.
definitely gonna whip them harder if you know what I mean. But you know, we appreciate that, and that we've gotten that like feedback like from multiple people about how it's like just hanging out with us, which I think is like exactly what we strive for. Um, because we don't want to take it too seriously, but we want to make it feel like really casual. I don't really know. Those are pretty much the same statement, um, but yeah, no, thank you. All right, Harsha, you said all the good things. Now it's time for your bad stuff.
Before that, like another thing that was rose for me was being able to spend time with my family, and this is the last year my brother's going to be home before he goes to college, so it's pretty cool that it worked out this way where we were both home at the same time. Thorn, I think going off what other people said about not being able to have like, oh, I have 2 or 3 weeks left in Blacksburg, even though I'd never liked Blacksburg that much. I moved like we were always complaining about how bored we were, but it was still great, and I miss it all the time.
Yeah.
Another thorn would be absolutely getting destroyed a couple months ago. It was like pretty bad, and I really regret doing that. And yeah, I just feel bad about that sometimes. But
Wait, is there a story here? I don't want to cut you off.
oh
I'm
no,
just
no,
curious.
no. So yeah, like
We
not
said it in
Christian
one
wasn't
of the
there, but like
episodes,
the
right?
rest of us, yeah, the rest of us went to our friend Jackie's house, and I mean, Turin was gonna drive me back home too, but so I ended up like drinking a lot more than I should have, and that usually doesn't happen to me. I'm usually the one that doesn't get super destroyed. It's usually Tarun, but somehow,
Yo, Harsh is dragging
Really
Turin
came
down this
after-
episode.
really came after him.
but somehow the tables turned, and I got I don't remember like anything past Haran leaving, and Haran left at like 9 or 10, so it was a lot fun.
Yo, when I was
There was,
trying to
like-
leave, my guy was like hugging me, and he was like, "Don't leave, bro." And I was like, "All right, yeah, this guy's fucked." I've never seen Harsh like that.
Yeah, I think there was like a good, dude. It must have been like 4 or 5 months, right? Where, well, not even before that, but like even at school, right? We'd go out and stuff, and you wouldn't really get drunk because you were a tank for whatever reason, right? And so we always like kind of, I mean, yeah, we took.
We definitely tried to be enablers.
Yeah,
But Harsh is
exactly.
hard
We're
to
like-
enable, if you will. So.
Yeah. So we're like, you don't ever get drunk, bro. Just like drink more, right? And so I think when we were at Jackie's, we sort of had that same methodology, you know. But
I
this
didn't even.
time-
We did. I don't think we said that much though. I'm pretty sure Jackie was the one that would be like. She like
No,
came
no.
and she was like,
Oh yeah, pin it all on Jackie because she's not here to defend herself.
No, but
it wasn't-
I
it
remember
wasn't-
like whenever they brought the vodka out, and then I'm pretty sure like Harsha took like a shot with us, and then like I think Jackie's like, oh, like you're not driving, like, or I don't know if it was Jackie or if it was Remy or like one of like or Tarun maybe.
Yeah.
Was just like oh like
I mean,
Harsha, like just take a
been
shot
me
like, in
also,
between.
you know.
It
Yeah,
could have
but
been
just
Harsha too.
like here's the thing, right? It's like
It's that mom mentality.
we took like 1 or 2 shots, I think, right? Like earlier in the day, right? And Harsha wasn't driving, so we're like, oh, Harsha, you should take like another, right? So he sort of doubled like what
Or-
we were
yeah.
drinking.
Double down, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his speed was much faster than us, but he did double.
Yeah,
So
and
the
I don't think like
volume-
I just ate enough.
Yeah,
And also
Yeah,
Harsha
just all that
doesn't like I mean like, you don't drink at home or like there's like so like the tolerance.
He was
is
out of
different.
practice.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah, that's
yeah,
true too. like-
practice.
Yeah, I
practice
guess,
is what she
yeah,
calls
since
it.
we have
Mhm.
like beers like every once in a while when we play Among Us.
I was
and
gonna say
stuff
every
like
night.
that.
Every day.
But yeah, I guess
But
that makes it interesting.
in the middle of like COVID and stuff, like being able to go to tech and have that one last hangout was better than nothing, for sure. And a bud.
That's one way to put it.
I mean,
That's how you want
it
to
was great,
That's how you want to
but-
summarize that.
I thought you were gonna say it was
I mean,
like, so
like,
amazing.
No,
Yeah,
he means
it
like
was.
better than not doing it. He means better than not doing it.
I know.
Yeah, and like most of us have never been into lane like that, so like that
Yeah,
was
that was
something
really
cool
cool.
too.
Yeah.
And being able to bring a couch and everything. But what's left? Bud. So I'm a really big sports fan, and
here we go.
I've been watching
Oh,
no.
football. I've been watching football for the last 15 years or whatever, and my Browns have never made the playoffs. So it's gonna be short, but in January if they make the playoffs, that's something I'm looking forward to. Outside of that, hopefully this COVID shit ends and we can get back with our lives. But I'm down to just work from home forever, man. It's been pretty nice.
How sad are you that? Well, like I guess it's not bad because I don't think Cleveland's gonna get home field at all this in the playoffs. But like, would you have gone to a playoff game even if it wasn't like if Cleveland was playing maybe like I don't know who would they play in the next round?
Yeah, I would have gone like wherever it was, which kind of sucks, but that's fine.
Hey, there's always next year.
No, there's not. This is it.
This is it. It's what
He
you
said
think.
there's not next year. He said there's not next year.
Once every 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, Tarun, I think you're last.
My rose. So yeah, for people that don't know, I basically graduated a semester early, and so I started work in February, like beginning of February, and then worked basically until the pandemic started, which was like end of March probably. Um, and in between, because like all these dudes like Harsha and Christian and Haran and well Anuj and everybody right was still at tech, and so basically I'd commute an hour back and forth every day to work, and then on Thursdays or Fridays, I would leave work directly and then drive straight to tech for the weekend, just so I could hang out with everybody because, well, like see at home, like there's nothing going on, right? Like sometimes my brother wasn't even home, and then my parents didn't really do anything. So for me, it was much more worth it to go like drive the 8 hours every week to just go see my friends. But what I realized is that like that really like what do you call it? I mean, tired me out basically.
Yeah.
And I think I had this conversation with Christian and Haran before I started working too, but I was kind of scared that like having to commute every day and like having all that time wasted would just make me tired and really less like ambitious about like my creative goals or goals outside of work, that I just wouldn't have enough energy to put time into. But this pandemic gave me some time to slow down, and because I had so much time, I had so many ideas. Like I think the first month of COVID, I like put up a whiteboard and I just filled up the board with stuff I want to do, and I've got through like a lot of them, and they're all a bunch of like random things, but I'm glad I had the time to just go after it and also have like the liberation of having money, not having money
Yeah.
like stop me if I want to do something. So that was like a really good thing. Thorn, was it Thorn? I don't know. I don't really like. I could say like travel and all that stuff. But generally, like I don't know. I'm pretty grateful for this time, like especially because it was so easy for me. Like I mean, other people don't have this luxury where they can work from home and like be completely okay. But like, I really enjoyed like not having to like cook because my mom like makes me amazing meals and all this stuff, and then money, and then like Zoom hangouts. I mean, it's not the same as hanging out with people in real life, but it's close enough where it was like okay. And then also like just so much time. You just gain so much time. So
You gain so much time, honestly.
yeah. So like I don't know if I have like a really like big thorn other than like I guess it's like it's like opportunity cost. Like I could have done more amazing things with this 8 months of time, but I'm pretty content with how it's gone. Is maybe a way to put it.
I definitely thought you were gonna say the new Mulan movie, but
That was the
Fuck
one
that
that impacted
shit.
him the most.
Fuck that shit.
yeah.
Nah, yeah, I think that's it. And then Bud, man, fuck, I don't even know. I just hope I can like travel, like, or I think me and a friend were talking about this, but basically like before quarantine like fully ends, um, and like basically yeah, but between the time that I get my vaccine and before quarantine like pretty much ends, I'd love to like go to a different state or something like that and just like live there for like the last month, um, and just like explore
May I
around
introduce
there.
you to New Hampshire?
No, I'd be probably be going west, dog. My bad. But yeah, I think that'd
Oh, I'll
be
meet you in
like sick
Kansas.
to get an Airbnb for like a month and just like work from there, and like just like live from there. I guess yeah, work and live from there.
Yeah.
So that'd be one thing. But yeah, that's it for me.
I think the idea of like moving to a new city for like a month
Mm-hmm.
is also just like really cool. Like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know when you would ever be able to do that like ever again.
Never, yeah, literally
Like
never.
this is such a unique opportunity where you can just work from home.
That's
and
true.
it's just like, yeah, I want to live in New York for a month, and it's like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, cool. I'll find an Airbnb and just like live in New York, or like you could go
Right.
literally anywhere, which is crazy. But that is something that I think is super cool.
Actually, one more, bud. I hope that like this pandemic enlightened all employers of like the fact that remote work isn't necessarily so like terrible. And I
Yeah.
hope that like this makes it easier for me to like, because my commute's like 45 minutes to an hour, right? Like that's like it's not beneficial for me or them, right? Like I could probably start working earlier and like do better work than if I was like bogged down by fucking traffic. So I hope that work from home like rules, I guess, or standards is like much more chill now, where I can, work like 3 to 4 days a week from home, and then if I really need to, obviously I can go to the office, but it's not like a big deal that like you have to be there.
Yeah, I
That's
think
true.
it's definitely going to be a hybrid model for our jobs. But also, like when Turin went to the office, his teammates weren't even there, even when he did go.
Yeah, man, that shit
Right?
pissed me off, dude. Because like, and another thing too is like, okay, so they put me on teams where both my teams were in Florida, right? So I never got to see them. And then, in addition, MITRE, its office layout isn't like the open floor plan that you see in like the more like modern companies, I guess. Everyone has their own. It's like basically their own room, right? I mean, it's a small room, but you have your desk in there and you have a whiteboard and whatever. I never fucking saw anybody, dude. Like, because everyone just has their doors closed. Because I mean, everyone's concentrating on what they need to do, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone has their doors closed, and I basically only see people when I went to the microwave to warm up my lunch.
It's like it wasn't really like a collaborative experience anyway in person,
Yeah.
so there's no need. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
That's fair. Well, hopefully 2021 brings better things for everybody, except for people who like the new Mulan movie and racists, which are one and the same, honestly.
Technically,
But,
the creators
and,
and the people a part of the
and
project.
anti-vaxxers.
Oh yeah,
I said racist.
Oh, okay.
they're all the same.
But yeah, I think that's about as much time as we have for this week. We want to definitely thank Anuj for stopping by. Is there any final thoughts or promotion or anything you want to throw out there before we head out?
No, I don't really have anything else. Just thank you guys for having me on again. This was a great time. I appreciate you guys bringing me on.
Yeah,
I'm looking
absolutely.
forward to the episodes to come too. In 2021, I think next. Yeah.
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 Thanks for coming on, Anuj. We'll
Thanks
see
for
you in
being on.
Nova soon.
Yes, I'll see you guys then. Hopefully, we can all meet up once this vaccine gets around a little bit more.
Yes, hopefully. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode, and we can't wait to see you guys next week.
Or next year.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Happy holidays. Bye.